Oh, you want me to count down?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Those Foreign Guys podcast. This is your co-host, I'm the host, Brandon, with his co-hosts.
Brian.
Hunter.
Dagur or Leo. Or you can call me tonight.
Hey. That was perfect.
I can't take that shit seriously.
If you guys are wondering why we're giving you a little bit of an ASMR, it's because this week we have a special topic to be talking about. The last 2 episodes, we wanted you guys to really get to know us, so we just kind of went at it. But this week we're coming at you with our first focused topic of the podcast,
Where we will go at it.
where we will talk about going at it. I think
this is
we
a
should all
family-friendly
at the
show.
same time say what we're talking about. We're talking about 1, 2, 3
Dating.
specifically
can I
in
stroke the
South
mic?
Korea. Just a little bit of caressing on the mic. Now this week we're going to be talking about dating, more specifically dating in Korea, whether that means dating Koreans or just maybe some nice
Kind of the
date spots.
Dating culture.
culture.
The
how it
dating
works here.
culture.
Because I would say it's a little bit different here
Oh, yeah.
from other parts of the world.
For sure. We're going to go into everything that we can. We're going to talk about just general dating culture. We're going to be talking about some applications if you're an online dater. We're going to be talking about some places you can go to meet some people and maybe kind of just the style in which Koreans like to meet each other, or that foreigners like to meet other Koreans, and
Or foreigners like to meet foreigners.
or foreigners like to meet foreigners. I always forget about that one.
Don't forget about that. I wonder why.
That exists?
Yeah, wait. I can just do that in my country. Why would I do that in Korea?
I thought that was illegal.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about everything dating, and I think some of us will have some different opinions, experiences, yeah, and what it's like to date. But yeah, we're just gonna jump right into it. So I think maybe we can disclose our relationship statuses.
Oh, no.
Just our positions, that whatever you want to say, you can lie if you want. But I'm going to tell the truth or else I'm getting in trouble tonight. So I have a girlfriend. She's Korean. Her name's Dana. We've been dating for about
Just
8
name drop her? You
Oh, I
don't
named
name
her.
drop
Did
her.
she sign a disclosure form?
She did.
Okay. Who am I to
When
complain?
she agreed to date me, she gave up all rights to content.
Ah,
Oh, wait, I'm not allowed to eat this. You guys said I can't. I put it in my mouth. The people on video are going to see.
Oh, yeah, true.
Wait, what? You're
So I can put it back in my mouth?
Yeah,
Oh.
for audio listeners, he's talking about Dagur's candies that he has
These are
sitting
my
on the
candies.
table.
I mean, I did buy them.
No, I missed. Okay.
Sorry.
I won't eat any
Disclose
candies.
your
So yeah, so me and Dana, we've been dating for about a year now, almost a year, as of filming this episode, and yeah, we met on an app actually.
Oh, yeah?
Have I told you guys this
Are you
story? I
allowed
think
to?
I probably have.
I was
Actually,
there from the
I was
beginning,
there for the
so I
first
know,
meeting.
You were there for the first meeting.
Oh, yeah. And I.
No, you were there for the third meeting
Was it? You said.
when you came to the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the third meeting.
Oh, you told
Yeah.
me it was the first meeting.
I think it'd be nice to tell kind of some origin stories. Do we want to go around and tell everybody's specific?
Well, I mean, let's do our. I guess either we got to talk about each person's status, or you just got to talk about your story first.
Okay, I'll talk about my story first. How
Okay,
about
let's
that?
go, baby.
So actually, I think apps are getting a little bit more popular in Korea. I mean, I think everyone, especially in Western countries, know like Tinder and Bumble and Hinge and stuff. But there's a very special
Grindr?
one. No, we didn't meet on Grindr. Not on Grindr. We met on an app called Hello Talk.
That's not a dating app.
Hey.
Exactly, it's not a dating
Hey.
app. You're right.
That's what people lie to themselves.
That's
I've heard that.
For those who don't know, HelloTalk is a language exchange app.
Yeah, that's why we're going to go into a little bit later. It's
Oh, for sure.
language exchange.
Yeah,
in Korea.
language exchange in Korea.
yeah.
But I mean, body language is a language. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I've never learned a word of any other language.
Well, I downloaded this app called Hello Talk, and I had used it a little bit to kind of like practice my Korean and talk to some Koreans.
For sure.
And I had matched with her, or not matched with her, because on Hello Talk, it's not a matching system. Like with Tinder and Bumble and all those, both of you have to swipe right, right?
Because again, it's not a dating app.
It's not a dating app. It's a language exchange app. So you say like, oh, I'm trying to learn English. Or you say like, I'm Korean, I'm trying to learn English. Or for my case, I'm English and I'm trying to learn Korean.
Wait, I thought you were American.
Wait, I think you're I'll give you the same joke. Yeah.
Dude, it's so unfair. They just group it all into one language. Can you believe them on Hello Talk? They don't have American
Fuck yeah.
as a language. They don't have English. Yeah, but I was like, I speak English, trying to learn Korean, and so it gives you like a list of people, and you can just kind of look at everyone's profile and decide.
Oh, wait, so it actually like you could choose a person in that.
Wait,
right?
How
Yeah.
were you using Hello Talk? That is not how I was using Hello Talk.
We'll get to how you were using it.
He was actually trying to learn.
I think that's a difference.
Well, it just shows you a list of
trying to-
people that speak the language that you want to learn. Like after you input it into it, and so like you go down and you just obviously don't click on any of the guys, and you just.
I mean, hey, whoa, I'm listening to that.
Unless, yeah, I mean, for me, I'm talking about my experience. Just, of course, scroll past all the guys, look at all the girls' profiles, okay, whatever. But in this situation, and that's how I kind of used it before, well, this specific case, I just got a message. She actually messaged me first.
She initiated?
Yeah, she initiated. And we talked a little bit, and we were just kind of having a little chat. And we talked about, like, oh, so, like, are you in Seoul? And I was like, yeah, I am. And she was like, oh, where do you live? And we kind of talked about where we live.
I think this man is sleeping on the couch tonight.
No, it's a nice, wholesome story.
You mean next Friday?
No. It's a nice, wholesome story where she was like, hey, like, we're really close. Do you want to hang out? Like, you want to just go hang out in person instead of just texting on an app? And I was like, you know what? 100% I want to hang out in person.
If the roles were reversed, this is the hardest no I've seen in my life.
Really? But she asked me, do you want to hang out? And I was like, yeah, sure. We're pretty close to each other. So we went out to the river together. And we had a friend in Korea at the time. His name's Mark. Shout out Mark.
Wait, we're talking about my boy
Mark Anawa.
Barbados Slim, baby.
Hey, shout out to Mark. He was like around out drinking in an area kind of near us. And the first time I met her, I was not feeling it. And here's why. We're walking down the street, walking down to the river. She starts going off about like, yeah, you know, all these guys on Hello Talk, they just want to date. And I'm like, yeah, can you imagine? Oh my God, the worst. And she's like, have you ever met a girlfriend on Hello Talk? And I was like, I mean, once, but yeah, you know. And we started talking. She's like, yeah, I'm not using it for dating. Like, I just want to be friends with people. I just want to make friends. That's all I'm looking for. And I was like, you know what? She's upfront about it. Like, fine by me. Like, if you just want to be friends, we can be friends. So that text Mark, hey, you want to go drinking in like an hour? I need an excuse to leave. And me and her, like, we went down to the river, started talking, and then, like, we really started connecting after that and kind of just, like, actually having good conversation. Because at first it was, I don't know, I was a little, like, not turned off of her, but, like, it just didn't feel like it was something that was going to work out.
Has she heard this story from
Yeah,
your
we've
POV?
talked about
Okay.
it. Yeah, we've talked about it.
Just like
thank God.
Well, it's just because at first, like, it just felt like we just didn't really have a lot to talk about at first. And I think maybe she was just a little shy because her English wasn't that good at the time. She's a lot better now. But it didn't feel like it was flowing. And then, like, we hung out for like an hour. And then I texted Mark back. And I was like, never mind. This is going great. Forget about it. I'll see you next time.
Wait, so you let
So
what happened to bros? You hyped our boy up
left
and then
him?
you left him?
Yeah,
Disgusting.
100%.
Disgusting.
Dick.
Yeah. Well, it was mainly because I was like starting to feel it a little bit more. We were starting to have like more comfortable conversations, and then she was like, "Do you want to go get dinner?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So I texted Mark, and I was like, "Never mind." So me and her went and got dinner, and it was great. And she was like, "Oh, yeah." We were talking about like dating and stuff like that, and she was like, "Yeah, I have a date this weekend." And I was like, "Oh, that's nice. Who is it with?" And she like showed me his picture and stuff, and I was like, "Wow, he's really handsome."
And
I was just-
that's the ugliest motherfucker.
I was just being like, because she had said she was just looking for friends, so I was like, okay, like this isn't gonna go towards anything like that, so we can just be friends. It's perfectly fine. And so we had just been friends for a little bit, and we had that whole night. And she had talked about how she wanted to learn English, and so that's when I invited her to the party that we were having that
Oh
weekend.
yeah, good night.
Yeah, good night. And
So it wasn't your first official date.
no, that wasn't even a
Yeah,
date.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I just said, hey, a bunch of me and my foreigner friends are going out this weekend. If you want to just come hang out with foreigners, like come hang out with us. It'll be fun. And she was like, well, that's the same day as my date. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess you can't come.
I
And
actually
she goes,
remember this now.
and she goes, but if it's not a fun date, I'll ditch him and come hang out
Yeah,
with you
I remember this
guys."
now.
And
I
I
was
was
gonna
like,
say,
oh, okay, that'll be nice, whatever. And so the days go on. Middle of the week, she's like, hey. She texted me, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just at home. What are you doing? She's like, want to come have dinner? And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? So like randomly, spontaneously, in the middle of the day, I just go and have dinner with her. We have a great time. go back from that, and then the party weekend comes.
Oh yeah.
And by this point, because of the dinner, like I feel like the second time we met was like amazing. I fell head over heels.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
I was
you
just
touched the hand and everything.
yeah, our hands touched, and we were just like,
You can reach
wow.
over.
I felt the fireworks went off.
Oh, yeah. Does everyone want to touch my
Okay.
hand?
Just
okay,
make-
I
okay.
guess I have to too.
No
ASMR.
fireworks for me.
I actually
I'm good.
got
I'm
Whoa,
safe.
hold up.
I'm
shocked.
safe. But yeah, no, the second time was really, really great. And then after that, we went to the party, and at that point, I kind of decided like, I kind of like this girl. So I told her that night, and we had a date the next week.
Do you want to tell everyone the ranking out of 10 she gave you that night?
The ranking out of 10?
Yeah, I explicitly.
Wait, I don't remember this.
Oh,
Do you remember this?
oh wait.
Because-
maybe that was between me and her.
The ranking out of 10? It was
So-
probably pretty low.
What are you
Yeah,
trying to snake?
So I was curious, but I was like, Donna, what would you give Hunter out of 10? You know him, he's a nice guy. And she was like, maybe a 6.
Wow.
But she did say, but I'm okay to give him more time to see if he grows on me.
Yeah.
And looks like
I mean, he is a grower now.
looks
It was great because like it was funny too because the first time we met, the joke that she had made to me was, "Hey, don't like me,"
oh.
and I was like, "What do you mean?" And she was like, I'm
That
only looking
is,
for
I
friends.
will say this. That is
don't
a
like me."
very attractive thing to say.
Yeah, it was.
yeah?
It was very attractive.
Someone
He was
says, "Don't like me," or like, oh, "Shit."
Well, for me, it was like, okay, we'll see what happens. But in my mind, I was like, okay, yeah, fine, we can just be friends. I'm cool with that. And so then by that weekend, it was like, okay, I'm not cool with that. So I had gone up to her that night outside. She had like gone out for a phone call or something, and I saw her like hang up the phone call, and I went out and I was like, hey, I gotta talk to you about something. She was like, what's up? And I was like, I did something I'm not supposed to do. I kind of started liking you, and she was like,
This
So
sounds
cheesy.
like a rom-com.
So cheesy, but I love
And
it.
it
I'm
worked,
sold. So
but
cheesy,
it
but I'm sold.
worked.
That
sold.
does
He
fit, huh?
backed
Yeah,
her.
no, that fits in.
It
So
worked.
cheesy, but I'm sold.
and she went, oh, okay, let me think about it. And so the rest of the night happened. We won't go into details about that.
Oh, that's for the
But-
that's for the vlog.
But by the next week, the next Monday, we had talked, and she had been like,
360
"Hey, why don't we go on a date?" I was like, "I'd love to," and then it was history from there.
Nice.
Oh.
Yeah, I know, and it was all
I'd
because
say it's history. That
Well,
sounds
not
like,
hi-
Yeah,
sounds like
that
it's
sounds like
ended.
it's over.
It sounds like it's done.
no, it's we're currently writing history.
Ah, there we
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
There we go.
okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was my story.
It's like when Frodo starts writing the.
Yeah, the story of the ring. Which, by the way, the people in the podcast watching the podcast can't see it, but I'm pointing past the camera over to that
Oh,
little
I
picture.
did see it.
You
Yeah.
did see it?
Oh
Okay.
shit! Wait, how
It's
did I miss this?
It's pictures of New Zealand, I guess, and one of them is from
From
the
New Zealand.
from the
It's a
Hobbit.
Shire.
Hobbiton. Yeah.
From the
New
Shire,
Zealand, it's a
sorry.
Shire.
But it was the Hobbit door, and Bryant is our resident Lord of the Rings lover.
I
So
did love
he
it.
was like, when I saw that, I was like, I gotta tell Brian about that.
As soon as I walked in, I saw it.
But yeah, that's kind of my story. Does anyone else want to share theirs? You don't have to.
I feel like I'm gonna put someone on the spot here, but I've always been keen on hearing some of Bryant's stories.
Maybe
just,
I could go into my little a little bit smaller story.
Oh, you got a
before-
smaller
before
story?
he goes into his whole overview.
No.
Well,
but
he,
yeah,
he can
do
share.
go
He might
ahead.
not share.
Wait,
everything,
wait.
but
How about wait? Robbie with scissors.
I think you guys share as much as you want to share. Like I'm comfortable sharing mine. But
No,
like,
give me all the. Give our good listeners.
So
All the
yours was
details.
pretty detailed. I won't go maybe into as
yeah,
much
that's fine. That's fine. You can
detail
tell as much as
did,
you want to
but-
tell.
But yeah. So
I think you just need to give your credentials because we're gonna be talking about love and like dating and stuff. I think everyone just needs to know that we're not just four random white guys. I said
whoa.
four random foreign guys.
Do you want to edit that one in post?
Yeah,
Hunter?
yeah. I'll edit all this. I'm just gonna make sure that everyone knows that we're not just four random foreign guys, just like being like, oh, this is how you get dates in
it's
Korea.
definitely
Like
not.
I just
That
want
is
people to know,
definitely
like,
not the message of this podcast.
it's definitely
yeah,
not.
no.
But I just don't want
our
people to think that.
experiences and how we have been.
Yeah,
I don't know how to phrase
our
it. but
experiences.
our
Yeah.
experiences.
Yeah.
But so I guess mine was a little bit different. So like I told you last episode, I came here as an exchange student back in 2016, and then I moved back to Iceland.
Mhm.
But I joined this website called Interpals. Have you guys ever heard of it?
Never heard of it.
It's kind of it's not a dating site or anything. It's like just a pen pal site.
Oh, so like Hello Talk, not a dating thing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's just like if you wanna like let's say you're moving somewhere, you're going somewhere, and you just want to find someone to talk to. You just let's hey,
Okay,
what's
yeah.
up?
pen pal.
So I was just browsing through that site, and I saw someone who had kind of an Icelandic mountain. I just noticed they were Korean and they had an Icelandic mountain thing in their profile picture. So I messaged them like, "Oh, hey, is that?" I don't even remember what that mountain is called, but so, "Oh, is that?" I was like, "Oh, hey, yeah." And so I met that person in Iceland because they were staying in Iceland,
Oh, okay.
which turned out to be my really good friend.
Mhm.
But then they went back to Korea, and then a few years later, they decided to come back with a friend, and that friend turned out to be a very special person.
Oh.
So I met them. I met my friend. I invited them to my house, my parents' house. It's like, if any of my friends want to go to Iceland, they can hit me up. They can
Oh
stay
yeah.
at
Dog is dead. We come in.
Yeah.
They can stay at my parents' house or whatever. Like, we'll arrange that. So we stayed at my parents' house with them, and then we had a little bit of wine, got a little bit cheeky. You know what happens.
What happens?
No, I don't know.
I
What
don't
do
know.
you mean?
What is this cheeky?
And then they went on a ring road trip, but the whole time we were texting.
A what trip?
Oh. Yeah. I was good.
In Iceland, it's called the ring road. So you like drive around the whole country.
Okay.
Oh,
Because
okay.
the country is pretty small, as maybe some of you might know. Iceland's pretty small, so you can drive around the whole country in like a few days. So you take the road. She did it with some bunch of friends, but the whole time we were texting. So when she was done doing the ring road, she came just straight to my
Straight to you.
House
straight
to you.
straight to me.
Yeah.
I guess.
for some more cheekiness.
And it's been blossoming ever since.
How long has it been?
It's been a few years. I'm not gonna go into too many
Okay, okay.
details,
Yeah,
but
that's
it's
fine.
been
Yeah,
a few
share
years.
as much as you want. Yeah.
And then that was in Iceland, and now as you might know, I live here.
Yep.
Today I learned.
And I've lived here a few years.
You're telling me you're not flying in every week for this episode?
Maybe if we get enough patrons.
Patreon goal.
But yeah, that's how like I said, I'm not gonna go into too much detail.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. But yeah, it's kind of how it happened.
Cool.
I asked for this man. Why are we skipping him?
But I feel
I
okay,
keep saying. Okay, no,
the
no.
thing,
You go
the
last.
thing about mine is that there's actually not too much to say, especially because so I am recently single.
Oh.
I was
Yeah.
in a very serious relationship when I first came to Korea, and that ended. I mean, it's kind of hard to pinpoint exactly when it ended, but you could kind of say like sometime last year. And yeah, so actually most of the time that I've been here, also there was Corona. I didn't really do any of the dating things at the time, but I am kind of now.
He's in the
Oh
game.
yeah, I was
If you
gonna
listened to our
ask.
last episode, you know.
Oh yeah.
No, no.
Oh wait,
He
wait.
did say-
Someone's
he
been
did say
partying
he
a
was
lot.
not
But
gonna
on
party
that
for a
note,
week.
did you party this week?
No,
Did
I
you?
did not.
You didn't?
Oh, yeah.
But and it's related to this episode. I did go on a date.
Oh.
Oh, and how was it? On a scale of 1 to 10.
Oh,
The
I'll give it
date,
a
not
10.
her.
A
Oh.
10?
Both her and the date 10.
Oh.
Just-
Okay.
Did you get cheeky?
No, no. I'm
For the girls who are watching the podcast, you better hurry up before he's swept
Yeah,
up.
yeah. Better get in there.
no,
quick.
I'm
Oh, for the men.
Slide in the DMs.
yeah, like I said, it was very recent that my relationship ended, so I'm kind of trying to take things slow right now. So I'm not trying to rush anything.
It's called play the field.
Sure. Yeah, but yeah. So it's kind of like something I'm experiencing right now. And yeah, I was partying a lot recently, so there's also that. But other than that, yeah.
Shout out to any people who might have seen him.
Yeah.
If you know this guy, please do not leave a comment.
Unironically, I don't know if you guys remember, I have a friend named Alex that came out with us one time.
the
And
guy with the like
yeah,
the
he has
sort of
some
faux tattoos.
He has some fake tattoos on his
Yeah.
neck. Well, I had mentioned to him that we were doing a podcast, and one day at school he came up to me and he was like, "Hey, you know your podcast, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "The guy on the end, on the left side with the long hair." I was like, "Yeah, that's Brian." He goes, "Yeah, I see him all the time." He's
Yeah.
like, "I recognize him. He comes to FFs a lot."
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, "Yep."
Not
That's
anymore,
Bryant.
though.
Huh? No,
Not anymore.
Not anymore. I mean,
Not
I'll
since last week.
sometimes- I will sometimes, but definitely not regularly
Yeah.
anymore.
So if you see him, make sure you walk up and be like, "Hey, you're that guy from those four guys."
That,
And
that
be like,
recently single guy.
maybe he'll buy you a drink. Well, who knows?
Or obviously buy him a drink.
Yeah.
Or,
Oh,
buy him a
yeah.
drink, yeah. If you see any of us, the best way, just buy us a drink. Yeah, we'll all appreciate it.
He's a big drinker, though. You might have to buy him too.
What's
at
your go-to
least.
drink?
Ooh, good.
It depends on the objective of the night.
What if it's
Okay,
just, what
like
if
go
you're just
into those
chilling?
objectives that you're talking about.
Get smashed? A bottle.
Yeah. Get smashed, tequila. Have fun and stay until the morning, gin tonic. And anything in between is Long Island.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good one. What about you, Brandon?
I've had some good nights with Long Island, so I'll say that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird because Tokebi doesn't have it, and that, as you might have heard last week, that's our go-to bar.
Yeah.
But Faust.
Faust?
I want my drink to taste like medicine.
What's
Ugh.
Faust?
Lord knows.
Disgusting is what it
It
is.
tastes, it tastes like medicine, and it's
It
weird
sounds like
because
some disgusting German.
It does sound German. Is it German? It's
Faust.
gotta be, right?
Faust.
Faust.
No, whoa, 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 whoa! We
Hey,
are treading into
I'm European.
dangerous waters.
I'm European, it's fine.
Hey, it can be worse than my
Shouting
brody.
Shouting Faust.
Brody.
But it's just like a really strong alcoholic beverage that has a bit of grenadine in for color, and
I think I know what it is.
that shit gets you going. It gets you not sober real quick.
Yeah, it's usually pretty expensive. It's like usually like
Oh yeah,
15,
it's more on
15,000.
the it's an expensive cocktail because it's just booze.
I mean, our boy's balling, so.
True, true. The reason I know Faust is because the bar that me and my friend used to go to was they would have like their menu split into levels. So you have the level 1 drinks, level 2, level 3, level 4, and then their level 4. I think there was the Faust, and
Catharsis, and
Yep.
Godfather.
Yep.
The
yep.
three kings. The three kings. One of those, and I'm good
What
to
is
go.
catharsis?
Catharsis.
It
It's,
sounds
just,
like, sounds like
What does it
something
mean?
you shove up.
Do you
it's
wanna-
what our producer James drinks. All the
Dude,
time.
do you want to know what it means?
It sounds like the thing you shove up your dick when you're in the hospital.
A catharsis is an
that's the
explosion of
catheter.
I mean, it sounds pretty similar.
A catharsis is an explosion or emotional release of feelings.
Yes.
And when you have a couple of catharsises, you have a catharsis.
I feel like I need a catharsis right now.
I feel like I need a catheter, right?
Oh my god!
No.
Wait, that was not the name of it?
No.
Close enough.
Yeah, close enough.
enough.
Just make sure you tell someone that next time you're at a bar.
Yes. Go and ask for it.
The bartender's
a
like,
doctor in
"Oh,
the
come
house?"
in the back, I guess."
It's a special service. We only do it
Yeah.
on Sundays.
Yeah, so Faust, but at Tokebi, gin tonic. Keep
Yeah.
it easy, keep it cool, keep
Yeah.
it clean. Although my therapist said start drinking Budweiser
Yes.
to get me to
And-
stop.
I think we're going in a Z pattern here because I'll just go ahead and mimic that. And
Oh,
that-
no.
Of course, my go-to. Gotta have some Bud, baby.
Oh.
Some Bud Heavy.
That's
But
nasty.
yeah,
Have you heard this?
I don't know.
I've never heard of
Wait, you
Bud
never
Heavy.
heard this? I feel like
I
I've
like
told
a
you guys
normal
this
Budweiser.
before.
It's like a Bud Heavy, right?
No. There's
Oh, right.
Budweiser has a couple of different like types of beers,
Yeah.
right? And in America, Budweiser is not the most popular beer that Budweiser makes.
What?
Right,
That's
exactly.
Bud
Wait,
Light, right?
no,
The
that's Bud
cheapest
Light.
one is Bud Light.
Yeah, okay, the blue one.
So yes.
Okay, okay,
So
I've
the
seen that
joke
one.
is that Budweiser, which is the stronger drink, is called Bud Heavy.
Oh god.
And so you say, I don't want a Bud Light, I want a Bud Heavy. That's your Budweiser. That's my go-to, baby. I
So-
love me some Bud Heavy.
This your every time go to?
Every time. If
So-
I don't know what I want, I'm just like, give me a Bud.
So
Yeah, it's fine.
basically, you like drinking piss water.
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
I love it. It's great.
I don't hate it. I mean, if he buys me a Budweiser, I'll drink it.
No, I was gonna say if someone's buying me a drink,
Mm.
I'm never gonna say no.
Right.
When people ask me what do you drink, well, does it have alcohol in? If so, yes.
Yes, I'll buy one for me.
Only
You
thing
can buy
I'll
one for
deny
me.
is tequila
Oh.
these days.
There is one
Same.
thing I don't like to drink, and it's that goddamn fucking Malibu.
Shout out to
Coconut, baby?
Nah,
Coconut?
I'm not gonna name drop in this. episode.
No
So
coconuts?
last week
I
we were
don't
talking
like
about
it.
we went to a birthday party, and the joke was that we finally got bottles that weren't Malibu.
Right, right.
But it tasted like Malibu.
I think Malibu is like
It was called like Balu. It was like an off-brand Malibu.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just that Malibu is really cheap in Korea, but for some reason Malibu is like always the first thing on every bottle list in
Yeah,
Korea.
I've seen
it's
Yeah,
it's
that's
a it's an aesthetic thing. Many people want to sort of be like islandy, and Malibu's got like that strong coconut vibe. So
Yeah.
you got
Only place in Korea I'll
Coconut
drink
rum,
Malibu
let's
is in
go.
Jeju.
In Jeju.
I'm
That's,
just
that's an actual island.
So yeah, full. I was all I was thinking was full island vibe.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm just not big into those coconut flavored things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Oh,
That's
yeah?
fair.
But yeah,
All coconut flavored things.
my go-to like is always these days I'm really into red wine.
You liar.
Red wine.
Yeah.
You're a gin tonic boy. Don't
No,
tell
that's,
me.
Yeah,
that's not it.
yeah.
Let me clarify. At home
Oh, okay.
Okay. At
or in
home.
restaurants, give me a glass of red wine.
I think we're talking about bars here.
Okay, when I go to bars, it's gin tonic every time.
I'm
Nothing
about
else.
to say.
Don't try to give me those adios motherfuckers.
Wait, you don't like the AMF?
The AMF.
Let's go hard, baby.
Is AMF a thing outside of Korea, or is that just like a
I-
Korea drink?
I
I feel like it's a
like the name at least.
want to say
college bar thing.
it's a thing outside of Korea, but I also want to say it's a newer thing.
Gotcha.
So for anyone who doesn't know what that is, it's a blue drink.
It's like a blue Hawaiian.
It's a blue Hawaiian, but less juice and more
Well,
juice.
alcohol. Yeah. It's just stronger
It
blue
tastes
Hawaiian.
awful, but it'll get you there.
What? I think it tastes pretty good. I think
I think it
that's the
tastes
scary
I
part
think
about
I
it.
think
It
it
tastes too
depends
sweet.
where you drink it. It's too sweet for me,
Okay.
and that's how I know it's dangerous.
Gotcha.
Because when I started drinking, my aunt always
Because
said,
I see when they mix it.
Stay
it's,
away from punch.
It's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But
I keep on eating these. Take them away from me. Take them.
For our audio listeners,
But-
there's jellies on the table, and
If I eat them, you are gonna have another
But my go-to
ASMR
would be a
session.
gin and tonic.
yeah.
Just gin and tonic.
That's what
Just
we
go
had.
to the bar, get a gin and tonic.
You know
Try
what?
to get a double.
Since that new soju was released.
Zero.
Yeah.
Zero. Oh,
Don't name drop.
I am slowly turning into a soju man.
Welcome.
me too.
Okay, but I've heard it's not that good.
No, I love it.
Have I been told wrong?
It depends who you ask. So
Okay.
a lot of, as I spoke about last week, a lot of my students are adults, or all of them are adults. So a recurring topic is, what do you like to drink? What do
Right.
foreigners like to drink? This is what us Korean men like to drink. And
It's just
it's
pretentiousness.
always, yeah, it's always talking about soju. And because of that, I'm like, hey, what about Zero, the new sort of sugarless soju?
Is that what it is? It's
Yeah,
just sugarless?
that's
Yeah.
But
that's the
they
idea.
did change Jinro to also be
changed- yeah.
sugarless.
Okay.
But the flavor of Zero doesn't have the stronger aftertaste
You don't get that.
that, like the chummy still has. So you drink it, and instead of going, you kind of just go.
That's the best part. That's why you drink soju. So you can go.
That's
No,
so-
it's not.
no,
so if-
that's
so
the
if-
thing.
If you're depressed, you can go and get a bottle of chamisul, which is the green bottles.
Right.
And then when you need that, sometimes you need that kind of feeling, because you're like, you had a busy day, or
Exactly.
you're tired. You need that kind of like kick.
Yeah.
Then you go get a bottle of chamisul.
So is it like zero in Korean, or is it zero like
Zero.
new?
Zero, the number.
Zero, but
That's the number. Okay.
zero.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's
think.
weird.
Oh no, wait,
No, it
I
is
have
zero.
no
It
idea.
is. It
Oh,
is
really?
Because
zero.
usually, like zero means like new thing, right?
Yes.
Like a new class. Or,
But
Oh, wait, it is
but
called that.
yeah, it is called zero, like new.
but it's supposed to sound like
it's supposed to
zero.
sound like zero.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Only thing I know is it's in a white bottle.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
it
with
has
a
a
Yeah,
fox.
yeah.
fox.
No, I know the bottle.
What about a fox?
It has a fox on it.
I've never looked at the bottle. I've just said, this is the new one. Drink. I haven't. But yeah, so the
But
sort
I
of
do agree.
idea is
These
just
days I've been drinking
putting-
more soju because I do like that one. It's
Okay.
a little bit. It does, like I said, it doesn't have that like kick. It's not punching you in the face when you drink it.
Well, hey, if we can find it after the podcast, let's.
Yeah, I want to.
Let's have a little drink.
Actually, funny point on that. It's so weird that if you go to a convenience store, Zero is more expensive. But if you go to a restaurant, Zero is the same price as every other soju.
It's probably just because it's a new thing.
Yeah, it's just a
And
markup.
that's something we can talk about later. Is like pricing in convenience stores. It's so funny
yeah.
sometimes. Like because they have all these 2-for-1s, 3-for-1s,
1+1s.
1+1s.
Have you heard of this like refrigerator app? So yeah, so GS25 had like this app that it's basically like it's called your refrigerator app, and you can go in and you can buy like if it's 1+1, you can just go in and you can get the thing and you just go ahead and pay for it like right away. So like I guess it's just like kind of a way to like take advantage of the deal. So if the deal goes away, you still have it, I guess, or it's just like okay, no one needs 2 Dr. Peppers at the same time, so you can just buy
Don't
one.
say
and then-
that.
I mean, I agree, but Dogger's giving me disgusted looks over here about my drink choices. So it's just like, okay, well, I don't want to carry this one around with me right now. Like, I'll just save it for later and I'll drink it later. So it's pretty. I don't know. It's a cool app. It's a nice.
Just
way
to
do
clarify,
things.
you buy it 1+1, but you leave it at the.
Yeah, you buy
convenience
a
store?
1+1, you pick up the one later.
Okay.
Basically, it's pretty cool. All right, so let's go back to what you were saying about your.
I wasn't saying nothing
No, we
about my
didn't.
dating. Hold up, well, I'll say.
We all talked about
Nothing.
our status when it comes to dating, where we're at right now, and we skipped you. So let's
Yeah,
get back to
we
you.
got to go back to you.
Can't skip you.
Wait.
You
Do
could.
you wanna
You don't have to
elaborate?
Save the best
you,
for
you
last.
just share. You just share as much as you want to share.
As much as I want to share.
Yeah, whatever's comfortable for you.
I have a something. The
You have
end.
something.
No, I think I mentioned it in our first podcast. I am married.
You did
Happily
mention
so.
it,
Yeah,
yes.
so I kind of just mentioned it offhandedly. I've been married for. Can we edit this? We got married during COVID, so I'm like COVID brain's just
4
like.
years.
So it's about 2 years.
2 years. Oh,
This is the third year.
gotcha.
So yeah, sorry, it's purely COVID brain where I'm just like.
Gotcha.
Because I remember I proposed to her when we went to the States, and that was in January of whenever COVID was about to happen. And we came back, and then suddenly everything just shut down from COVID. I was like, oh, okay, this is weird. So that's why I can't remember the date, but I'm sort of like, I know exactly when it happened because
Yeah.
I joked, oh shit, did we bring COVID with us from America to Korea? What the hell's going on?
It's your fault.
But
You
no,
thought
no.
it was Bryant
But
this
then
whole
it turned
time.
out, no, I thought it was my fault, but turns out it was this guy from China to Ecuador to Korea. Damn.
Yeah,
Thanks
spreading
for
the love.
thanks for relieving me of the COVID, I guess, stresses. But we met a couple of months after I moved to Korea.
Gotcha.
I was dating before meeting her.
Mhm.
Is that what you want to know about?
Yeah,
too?
basically, we just need to have some credentials. You know, we
Oh,
should
some
make sure that
credentials.
you're not just a phony up here.
Oh yeah, and I'm a
Yeah.
pro dater. I dated everyone.
So yeah,
Yeah. What?
I was gonna say I think we all kind of have experience dating in Korea.
Yeah.
That we can kind of give some.
Yeah, but let me finish my
insights.
story
Yeah,
first.
go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry, I wasn't trying to tell you to stop.
Wait. So now I'm confused again. Do I talk about from dating or from
You
marriage?
talk
'Cause
whatever
you
you
guys.
want to talk about, baby.
Oh yeah.
This is your podcast.
Yeah, this is your pod. You are the host.
You guys are my co-hosts. Yeah. There we go. Okay, let's just talk about this relationship, and then sort of talk about, I guess, Korean specific culture trends and more shocks. But anyways, we had met through a mutual friend who asked if she could stay at my place. And my place was kind of a hotel at the time. Everyone down south in Jinju were like, oh, it's a weekend, we're staying at Brandon's. So a friend of mine messaged saying, Brandon, there's a party this weekend. I know you're going. I'm also going. Can I sleep over? So I was like, oh, yeah, sure. And then she was like, can my friend sleep over too? And I was like, well, is your friend hot? And she was like,
Asking the
she was like, yeah, she is, but she's also smart, intelligent, selling all
but
the.
she's hot, right?
She's really selling.
So we met that night, and I was like, you wouldn't believe this. I was shy, so I didn't say
What?
shit.
I cannot believe
I
it.
Yeah, I
ain't
don't
say
believe that.
shit.
This
I-
guy's lying.
I greeted her, and that was the end. I was like, "Hi, I'm Brandon. You're sleeping over at my place. Nice." That was all I said.
You just got upgraded from the couch to my bed.
And they never
I'll
slept
see
over.
what we can do for you.
They never slept over.
Oh,
One of my friends, I guess co-workers, also came to the party, and she was like, "Oh, I'm driving back to the next town. Do you want to get a lift?" So they sort of went home with her, and I was kind of like, kind of sad, but at the same time, like, because I had nothing. I was out. And then the following week, there was a, I guess, teacher conference where all the teachers in the region came together, and I met her again. I was like, I know where I'm sitting. It's like, so I was like, oh, I know where I'm sitting.
next to you.
Right next to you. So we sat together, had a good laugh over the week, and by the weekend, my friend group came up to Seoul, and her friend group, I guess, went to Busan. And it was a long weekend, so it was like 4 or 5 days. And by the Sunday or Monday, she messaged me saying, "Hey, what you up to this weekend?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm in Seoul." And she was like, "Yeah, but do you want to come to Busan?" So I was like, "Well, now I do." I was like, shit, now I do. So she booty called me.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say, I've heard this part of the story.
You heard this part of the story.
She's told me,
Yeah.
she goes, yeah, I kind of booty called Brandon, actually. And I
Yeah.
was like, hey,
Baby got back.
yeah.
When Gondor calls,
When
go on, will
Gondor
answer.
I hate that you made that reference. I hate
It's only for
it so
Bryant.
much.
For
I
Bryant,
know
for Bryant.
why.
I love it.
But yeah, like after that weekend, we sort of went on a couple of dates and just really connected, had a good time. And each time she'd come over, we'd like plan, oh, we're going to do this. We're going to go sit at a cat cafe. We're going to go to this restaurant, and we just sit in my apartment for 7 hours talking about shit, just
Yeah.
absolute shit.
Connecting.
Yeah, connecting.
awesome.
Yeah, so
That's nice.
So it's okay. I think you said in the first episode, she's like half Korean, half.
yeah, half Korean, half American, but the American side's sort of European.
Okay.
Her dad's I want to say first generation. I could be lying. Maybe I'm lying all this time. I don't know. But there's some weird first or second generation
Yeah. And
American.
her mother's maiden name is.
And her mom was born in Korea.
And the
but
3
moved
numbers on the
over.
back.
yeah.
Hey, that's
So-
my card.
So would you say that when you first met her, do you think it took more of a Korean style of dating culture, or do you think it was more Western style?
Oh, that was Western. I told you
Okay.
she booty called me.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, hey, I don't know. I wouldn't put it past Korean culture to do that.
No,
but
down south, like that's the difference as well. Down south, dating was very different than here in Seoul.
Yeah.
At least from what I can see.
What? Why you're looking at me? What?
So yeah, I mean, what was it like? Like, what do you think it was? Do you think it had aspects of Korean culture in it, or do you think it was just like very much?
Oh,
Western style.
very Western. I mean, I just said like her mom was born in Korea,
Mhm.
but she had moved to America when she was still a kid.
Right.
So her mom never grew up learning Korean even.
Mm.
Her mom grew up
okay.
learning English because her grandparents were like, we gotta learn English. They
Yeah.
moved to America without speaking English. So
Right.
it's kind of like that. So our dating was entirely really Western.
Mhm.
But before her, I was kind of seeing someone, kind of not. And the reason I say this is because Korea's got this 3-date
Yeah.
rule of sorts.
Oh, I've heard about this, but I don't really
So,
know what it is.
like,
about.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
me
the
neither.
breakdown of this is by the 3rd date, you sort of have to explicitly make your intentions known. I had no idea this.
They call it a confession.
Yeah,
You
the
have to
confession.
confess.
You have to
Confession?
confess.
You have to confess.
You have to be
Jesus,
like,
that sounds.
Dogger,
Wow.
this is our 3rd date. I do like you.
Yeah.
You know, we've held hands, we've kissed, I don't know, we've been cheeky. But now I need to confirm, I
With
like
red
you.
wine.
Let's,
So it's called a confession.
yeah.
I mean, there's a Korean word for it. I forget what it is.
Yeah, I
but
also forget what
it
it
means
is.
confession.
And
Wow.
I was seeing a girl, kind of. And I never knew about it at the time. Oh, you're good?
Bless you.
Yeah. Woo.
Oh, someone's talking about you. You must be the girl I was talking about. So we had gone on a couple of dates, and after the 3rd date, I did realize there was something just that felt like it changed. I mean, we still saw each other quite often, held, did all the coupley things in my mind. But then I was at a cafe with one of our mutual friends, and that mutual friend was like, dude, why didn't you tell her you like her? And I'm like, isn't it obvious? I was like, oh, yeah, I was spending all this time with her. I was doing all these things. And then she explained the rule to me, and I was like, oh.
So you have to explicitly
Yeah.
like say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, can I go back? And it was just like, nah, you don't,
Oh, it's just
you missed
done.
your opportunity. Yeah. I mean, we were still friends afterwards and really cool. But it was just,
Wow, that's so weird to me.
I think
it's just I guess in Western culture it's just implied.
Right.
You
That's
never
what I thought.
explicitly ask someone. To
Right. You
be
wait till the
your-
10th date when you're laying next to each other. You go, so what are we? That's the Westerners' way of doing it. No, I mean, like, I've heard this same thing in Korea. Like, one of my Korean friends, like, kind of told me about it really early on. And I do think it is, like, a case-by-case thing. Like, some girls are going to be, like, more keen on that, whereas other girls are going to be a little bit, like less care about it. And we can talk about, like, other things, like, some girls care about, some girls don't. But, yeah, no, the 3-date rule, like, I feel like it definitely is a thing. I had a similar experience too, where like I was going out with a girl and like it was like a 4th or 5th date where I had just been like, hey, let's go out, and we had just gone out a few times, and by like the 5th time, she like was getting kind of like distant about things, and like I had asked her like later on, like this was like maybe months after, like we had reconnected about something, and I was like just kind of like, so why didn't that work out? Like I felt like things were going pretty well. Like did I do something? Like I thought things were going well, and she was like, oh, I didn't even know you liked me, and I was like. We held hands. Like we were like walking down the street, and I grabbed your hand, and I was like, "Dang, you
With
look
the
cute
interlocked
today."
fingers and
yeah, with
all?
the interlocked fingers. I was like, "You look cute today," and she was like, "Oh, I thought you were just being friendly. I didn't know."
But so when we talked about last week, it was about the hugging thing. Like,
Yeah,
you can hold hands, do that, but still not.
but I mean,
know.
like, especially in Korea, like, I
Yeah.
mean, a lot of Westerners, like, I think it's becoming, I don't know, but like Korean guys hold hands or like they hold each other's arms and stuff.
Oh,
like
no, I
that.
love
it's
that.
very much like a touchy
Skinship.
thing. Yeah, skinship. Like
Give
it's
me
very
up.
much
Give me that.
like a normal thing in Korea, especially even between guys and like girls and guys. Like it doesn't necessarily, I think, mean that like it doesn't necessarily have to be an affectionate move towards someone. And I think there's just this culture around like confessing your attraction to someone.
Okay, yeah.
And in a way, it's kind of romantic.
I,
But like,
I get it. It's kind of romantic to
but also you should
say.
pick up the hints.
Yeah, no.
Like,
I mean,
There were
what
no
if-
hints for me. I was like, I was
I mean,
giving.
they
oh,
should pick up our hints.
Okay. Oh, exactly. Yeah.
Now I'm understanding some past things.
Ah.
A
It's
little
like,
bit
oh
clearer.
my god.
Tell us what you
I'm
did.
not, I'm
or what
not
you didn't
lying.
do.
I am understanding some past things a little bit better.
Yeah.
What was her name? And social security number.
Drop it.
There's no name drops on this podcast.
I think we also do
Damn.
have to mention like the different kinds of celebrations and anniversaries that
Oh, for sure.
because although my previous relationship was with a Korean person, we never did any of that, and there
Yeah.
was no like
Same here.
3-date rule or anything. Like
Yeah.
there was none of the Korean things that I've seen
Mhm.
in our relationship.
So you never had the matching couple suits?
No, nothing. None
I
of
mean,
that.
I've
Dual
done
denim
that.
jackets.
I've done that like silently. Like we're not wearing the exact same thing.
Mhm.
We'll color matched.
You
Yeah.
can do like I think color matching is
Normal.
fine,
Kinda-
normal.
Kind of cute.
Yeah.
But like some's pretty extreme where you're just like, oh Jesus.
They're wearing the same shoes, the same
Yeah.
pants.
Yeah.
The same shirt. It's like,
Yeah,
whoa.
in Korea there's like a couple outfits
Yeah, yeah.
type of style, and so like you literally wear head to toe the exact same outfit and go out together.
Which isn't
And
bad.
I
think
I'm
some
gonna
of
be
it
on the other
looks
side, and I'm
cute.
gonna say I think it's cute as
No,
fuck.
some-
I love
some
that.
of it is.
I will say this. It always looks better on the guy.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
for sure.
Hey.
I don't care either way.
But yeah, no, like there's that kind of thing, like what you were saying, like in Korea, like the anniversary is a really big thing, and maybe it's just like a younger person thing, because like even my girlfriend doesn't care about this kind of stuff. Is like they
What do you mean by
celebrate
even your girlfriend?
like I think she's past the age where she cares about like the 100 days, 200 days.
So you're calling her old fashioned.
Not
No, he's just calling her old.
Damn.
yeah. Well, anyway, there are people in Korea that like to celebrate like 100 days of dating, 200 days of dating, 300
Oh,
days.
yeah.
There's like every 100 days is like a celebration. Like, and it's not that they go like all out and buy each other like it's definitely not like anniversary style where like you buy each other like nice jewelry or anything like that. It's usually just like candies or flowers or something like that. But you just say, oh, happy 100 days, happy 200 days. And but like my girlfriend, she doesn't really care about those too much. She's like more like, oh, let's just celebrate our anniversary. Like our anniversary is a bigger deal than 300 days. Like, who cares about 300 days? It's like we should go to a trip for our anniversary instead. It's like, okay, cool. And I think for me, like, I don't think she would have cared about the 3-date rule, but technically I did like confess on the third time meeting.
Yeah. Which I thought was the first time.
Yeah, you thought it was the first time. No, I'm not that eager.
I was like, this guy.
I think it is a little bit confusing though too, because like as a foreign guy, it's like, do I have to follow all of those? Like for example, the
Yeah.
100 days.
Mhm.
Like, do you care? Do you want me to? Like, what's happening?
Yeah.
What do I do?
And I think in the end, it all comes down to just communication.
Ah.
You know,
Ah,
Come on,
hogwash.
Communicate. Talk about things.
I just want to speak in sound effects.
I mean, we're talking about a lot of like cultural stuff, but like in the end, it all does really
It's
come
all
down to
just
like
communication.
communicate. Like just talk about what do you like, what do you don't like. Like
Mm.
I mean, on communication, like I mentioned, the person I'm married with, she is Korean American. She speaks English as her first language.
Mm.
In both of your cases, and I guess yours, their first language was
Korean.
Korean.
Correctness.
How do you communicate? What are some of the, I guess,
Well, but you,
difficult
Poorly.
points?
So-
you guys did meet her, so you guys know. That
No,
her
like
English was
I
really
know her
good.
English
No,
is
I-
great.
I was
I
never so
know her
lucky.
English is great.
Ah.
Oh, you never met her?
I was never so lucky.
Oh, really? Ah, well,
He wasn't there.
You never will.
Maybe. Actually,
until episode 100, which we bring her on the podcast.
Oh my god.
I remember where she
It's a
likes to
boxing
party.
match.
Yeah. So how's
So
communication?
we kind of made our own language.
Oh,
Oh.
It's kind
Oh.
of like a English-Korean hybrid.
Oh.
It's like we have.
Konglish?
It's like, I don't want to call it Konglish, but because Konglish is kind of an actual concept.
Yeah.
But it's like kind of our own thing. We speak in English and Korean. We mix it up all the time, and I say like things in English, but I type it with Korean letters, and I do like we have this kind of weird.
Okay.
So sometimes I just say stuff to my coworkers, and they're like, "What?" It's kind of our
Bedroom
own
talk,
make.
eh?
Maybe. Maybe I'll share it later. But it's kind of like our own style of talking. So it's like Korean English. I guess it's like 50-50
Okay.
these days. Because my Korean I think is getting pretty good, and her English is very good. So
You did the classic foreigner thing where you played it too easy. Oh, I guess no. Actually, you did the classic Korean thing where you played off your Korean as, I think I'm getting pretty good.
yeah.
I think you might be underselling yourself there, Mr.
Yeah,
Douglas.
I don't.
I th- I-
I don't want to be cocky.
You're pretty good Korean. I mean, you're the best one here.
Be an American.
Hey, if you
Be
see,
an
if
American.
you see me anywhere outside, speak to me in Korean. I
Yeah.
might.
Be an
I'll show you.
American.
Give him a test. Give him a test. See how good
Nah,
he
hell no.
is.
Hell no.
Start rapping at him. Be like,
But yeah, that's usually how we communicate. It's like 50-50.
yeah.
Okay, no.
I think messaging wise on Kakao it's like 85% Korean.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Me and my girlfriend are pretty much the same. Like, at least with texting, it's mostly in Korean because if I don't understand something, I can always translate it.
Oh.
And that makes things at least easier for her. And I don't mind doing that extra step. But in person, like, I think she understands English pretty well. So, like, if she talks in Korean and I speak in English, like, we can kind of understand each other. Because I think my understanding's a lot better than, like, my actual speaking. Like, I can understand what people are trying to say. And it's not that I understand every word. It's, like, I understand context and I can understand, like, inflection and stuff, I guess, is a way to say it. So, like, I understand what she's trying to communicate, even though I don't understand the exact words. And I can still respond in either English or Korean. But if I respond in English, she's the same way. Like, she can kind of understand what I'm trying to say without me having to say it in Korean. But I think we're probably pretty similar. I'd say we're like 70-30 English and Korean. But if you just take
So
in like
70% English.
70% Korean.
Oh shit.
Mm.
But I mean, like, it's 70-30 just like whole time. But then when I sometimes will have to speak in English and stuff, I might go up. But yeah, we communicate pretty well. I've learned a lot of words, like chores words, like wash the dishes, fold the
Take
towels.
out the
I'm
trash.
really good at those words now. I've mastered those. Yeah. Because I think that is like the interesting thing about learning languages is like when you start dating someone and you start like arguing or like not fighting but just like talking
Okay,
about
so
stuff
let's
like that.
let's
Like
break this down. When you argue, when you have a fight, what language do you speak?
Korean.
Oh.
I feel like I have to because otherwise like she might not like understand what
Whenever
I'm
we
trying
fight,
to say.
Okay.
I pretend not to speak Korean.
Like what? I don't know what that means.
So wait, when she's angry at you, does she speak English?
No, Korean. Yeah.
So
Pretty
on that note, you and your girlfriend live together.
Yeah, we do. We do actually live together.
Oh.
What's the address?
555.
Hey Siri, pick this up.
No, yeah, I mean we've been living together, which is kind of like an unusual thing as well. We can talk about this. Like, in Korea, like usually Koreans.
Don't live it together
Don't
until
live
they
together.
get married.
Well, more
Yeah.
importantly, they live at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, live at home. Not even that they
It's
live
very
alone.
common
They just
that they
live at
just
their
live at
parents'
home, yeah.
house. Yeah. Like I know I went on a date one time a long time ago with a girl who was a little bit older, and I was like, "So, where do you live?" And she's like, "I live at my parents' house." And I was like, "You're like 32. Like,
Wait.
what do you mean you live at your parents' house?" And she was like,
How
"Yeah, I live at
old
my
were
parents'
you?
house." At the time, I was like 25, maybe. But that was kind of the thing where I was just like, "Wow, like
So you like
Koreans."
Nunes? I
My point is,
Talking
I'm like,
about-
wow,
Oh.
okay, so you like that's just the Korean thing. Like, you just kind of live with your parents until you're like financially stable to live together as a couple. Like, and it's usually not until like Dagur said, like you're about to get married or like at least pretty sure you're gonna get married.
Not even
like,
then. I like for so many people, it's we got married the next day. You move in together.
Really?
I remember my old co-teacher. He was also the vice principal. Young, I think I say young dude, same age as me. Young dude, baby.
Young dude.
Young
You're young.
dude.
You're still young.
But he was getting married, and I remember him telling me, "Oh, Brandon, let's just talk about living together with the person you married to." And I'm like, "Wait, you and your wife are getting married next week? You haven't lived together?" He was like, "Nah, I'm about to go in fresh." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay,
That's
you,
something
you,
I've
you
never
do that.
understood.
You do
because,
that."
Like before you get married, you kind of have to beta test, right?
Yeah. I'm
Look.
I'm with you on that.
Like,
one.
what if you lived? Like, I've said this a couple of times, but what if you live together and then a couple of weeks later you're like, this is shit.
You don't really learn someone's habits
This
until
guy
you're
doesn't
actually
fold
with
up the
them for a while.
towels.
Yeah, right. He doesn't wash the
Oh,
dishes.
this is
doesn't
just
do
this
the
good chick
towels.
that I go to dates with a few times a week, but we never live together.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
I'm
don't
gonna
push
marry
your
her.
chair under the table.
Oh, that one sounded very
Yeah.
specific.
That one hits close to home.
Do the dishes before you go out.
What about
Yeah.
for you? Were you in a relationship when you came to Korea or before you came to Korea?
Yeah, we came together.
Okay.
It was a relationship that was from my time in China as well. So,
How quickly did y'all move in together?
Same day. Hey, you wanna move in?
He's like, hey, let's over. And never leave.
Well, actually, it was a little bit different because we were both studying in China. And although her parents also did live there, she was staying closer to her school. So at one point, she was sleeping in the dorms. And then afterwards, I think there was a point.
Sleeping at your place?
Afterwards, there was a point where she had her own apartment, and I can't remember exactly when it was, but I think a few years in was when we moved in together.
Gotcha.
But like her parents didn't know about it,
Yeah.
Ah.
so she was supposed to be staying in the dorms, but she was actually staying with me.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's the same thing I can.
I was about to say hello,
Also, I
Do
just remembered
the-
that my girlfriend's parents don't know that we're living
My
together.
girlfriend's
but are they watching the podcast?
No, they're not watching the podcast.
Hey,
so it should be okay.
hey.
They didn't know for some time.
Yeah.
So hopefully they'll not watch this until like later.
Start
But we lived
strangling you the
together
next
for
one.
quite a while until they knew.
I'll just make sure we don't subtitle this episode. It'll be good.
But it was quite a while. Because, we just had this kind of. I don't want to say lie. Just not telling the
It was
truth.
a lie.
Not telling.
Oh yeah, no,
Admission
you can
of the
say.
truth
if
is
I
a
can
lie,
say, yeah,
I've learned
no.
in my relationship.
No, that's
If I can
bullshit.
say not sober, you can say not lying.
Yeah, it's not, I was not sober.
Gotcha.
I was just not. We're just not telling them.
Yeah.
So, but that's very common here because
Yeah.
parents have this kind of image of you shouldn't live together before marriage, I guess. But which I was talking before about beta testing. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
But don't you want your kids to move out?
I mean, like,
Get the
I
hell
don't
outta
think that's
here.
something like specific to Korea. I think right now Korea is maybe, in my mind, more intense about it still because they still hold on to that belief. But I mean, it's a very, I guess, conservative, churchy mindset to, oh no, you only move in together when you're married, sort
Yeah.
of a thing. So I kind of get it in that sense.
And part of it is like we can maybe talk about this in a future episode. Is like very Confucian ideology, where like the relationship between children and their parents is very important. So whereas in America, I think parents are mostly usually like get the fuck out of my house. Like you're 21, go get a job. I'm
Oh, you're
speaking-
21. I was,
I'm
in my mind,
recalling-
I was thinking you're 18.
Yeah, I'm recalling a core memory right now where he said, 21, get the fuck out of the house, go make your own money, go live on your
Just
own.
in Iceland is like, if you're studying, you can stay.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Not
think
the
America's
hell
pretty
out.
much the same, but I wasn't studying, I was working, so it was like kind of make some money, get out, and then, but like in Korea, it's very much like the parents are very much willing to like take care of the kids because they want the kids to
Yeah.
take care of them.
Yeah.
Like later on, it is very much like a cultural thing, I
That's
think.
not happening.
Yeah, yeah.
So do we have any like funny dating stories?
Funny dating stories?
Define funny.
Ooh. Yeah, I got a
Haha,
couple.
funny.
You have one that comes to your mind?
Well, it's not exactly, but it's kind of related to the topic. So I recently downloaded Bumble, and I was kind of trying it out, and I
Shout out,
matched.
sponsor us.
Oh, right. And I matched with someone, and I was starting to chat with this person, and then she texted me like, "Do you still have long hair?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then she unmatched me.
Yeah, I would say like there is like and again, it is always going to be a case by
I'm
case
gonna
thing.
shout her out. Like, hey, she knows what she wants.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, for sure. I'm nothing against her. It's all fine. But I thought it was
Oh,
funny.
yeah.
Yeah, I think like there is also a thing in Korea, like especially for guys, like usually having a beard is like not really a strong characteristic. Long hair, not really a strong
I
characteristic.
do have a funny non-dating story about. I mean, it kind of links with dating in a way, but about just facial hair. So when I was teaching at an elementary school, I was always clean shaven. That was my idea. And one day I decided, you know what, I'm done. I'm just not gonna shave this week, and I didn't shave.
annoying.
And one of the teachers at my school spoke to another teacher who was closer to me and was like, "Is Brandon okay?" And then that teacher came to me and she was like, "Brandon, I don't know how to ask you this, but another teacher asked me, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah. What do you mean?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine. What's up? Did something happen that she needs to ask?" I was like, "Oh shit, did something in South Africa happen that I missed?" And she's just checking up on me, and she was like, "Nah, you didn't shave." I was just like, "What does it mean? Why is it the serious thing when I didn't shave for 1 week?" And she was just like, "You're not depressed, you're feeling good at home, or you're okay."
I mean, it is a sign for some people.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. Well, I think. Anyway, no, I have a very similar story about that. Actually, about not shaving.
oh yeah, I
So,
remember your one.
When I kind of pretty early when I came to Korea, I used to go to Thursday Party all the time, which is like the place that every foreigner used to go when they first come to Korea.
Yep.
It's a rite of passage. You have
Yeah,
to
you
do
kinda have
it.
to-
Yeah.
You got molded by
It's
it.
changed now.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, we can talk about this in a minute, but it's changed now. We'll come back to that.
When I hear
Anyway.
Thursday party, I just
Yeah, memories, right? So I was at Thursday Party with one of my friends, and we had gone out drinking a couple weekends in a row, and I had just gone out by myself this day, and I just saw him there, and I was like, "Oh, hey man, what's up?" And he was like, "Hey, come meet my friends," and I was like, "Okay, cool." And I walk over, and there's these two girls that are sitting with him at this table, and he introduces me, and they're very, very sweet, very nice, but one of them is clearly drunk. As soon as I sit down, she's just very slurred with her speech, just kind of moving all over the place, and I'm like, okay, you could just tell,
Yeah.
she's had a lot to drink. And I sit down and go, "Hi, what's your name?" And I don't remember what her name is now, but she said, "Oh, my name's this," and I said, "Oh, nice to meet you. My name's Hunter." And she just grabs my arm, and she just looks at me, and she goes, "You will never sleep with a Korean girl." And I was like, okay, whatever, cool. Thanks for the fortune telling, I guess. I don't know if that was some kind of weird ritual thing. I didn't know what was going on. It's my 4th week in Korea or something like that. I was just very confused. But I was just like, okay, she's drunk, whatever. I'm just gonna ignore this. And so night ends, blah blah blah, whatever. It's 2 or 3 weeks later. I go back to Thursday Party. I'm walking around, got a Budweiser in my hand, doing
a butt heavy.
a Bud Heavy in my hand, doing my thing, looking around, seeing what's going on that night. And I look over at this table and I see this girl, and it's the same girl from that night. And me being the friendly person I am, I walk up and I'll go, "Hey, whatever her name was, do you remember me?" And she's like, "No." And I'm like, "Oh, you remember my friend, blah, blah, blah." She's like, "Oh, yeah, I remember him. We all went drinking." And I was like, "Yeah, I met you. We were here 2 weeks ago." She's like, "Really? I don't remember that. I don't remember that." And I was like, "Yeah, you said something really weird to me that night." And she was like, "Oh," she felt very embarrassed. She's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry." She's like, "What did I say?" I told her, I said, "You said just randomly, you just grabbed me and you're like, you will never sleep with a Korean girl." And I was like, okay, whatever. Who cares? And she's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I did not mean to say that like that." I don't know why I would have said that. Literally 2 days before, I had shaved my beard that I had kept from America. I had come to America with my beard, and then 2 days before this, I had shaved. And I said, "Well, at the time I had a beard." And she goes, "That's why. That's why I said it." She's like, "Korean girls hate beards. You will never meet a Korean girl if you have a beard." And I was like,
I feel like you gotta put a picture up now of.
You have to put
Hunter with a
it
beard.
"Oh, me with a beard."
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
I'll throw a picture up right now.
No.
That's me with a beard. Okay, audio listeners, you can see it on
Okay,
YouTube.
now I also see why she said that.
But it was
Look,
just so
look at
weird.
the picture.
Look
on
at
the
the
screen.
picture. Oh,
It's
yeah.
just the phrasing she said. She's like, "You'll never sleep with them." I was like, "Okay, fine. I don't care. Whatever. I'm just trying to, I'm just,
Their loss.
yeah, their laws. Yeah, whatever." But it was just so strange. I was just like, okay, whatever. But ever since then, I've never had a beard.
Well, for me, it's easy because I can't actually grow one, so I just always shave. Yeah, I just
But the hair.
everything that should go here went all here.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah, I see it.
And for 150 Patreons, we'll shave it all off.
Yeah, I'm ready. But it's okay.
I'm gonna give you some
So-
angles as well.
I've definitely enjoyed it enough. I'm okay.
It's been a while.
Yeah, this has been growing for 3 years, so this length
Wow.
is 3 years. Yeah, it's pretty long.
Do we want? I want to say that was something that actually someone reached out to me about. Do we want to donate it? Do we want
I
to try
saw
to
that.
Oh
find a
yeah,
place to donate
for
it?
sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
yeah.
have to go scissors first and then razor.
I don't know how we do that, but when we
Is
get,
it long enough to donate?
I don't know. And the
Is
other
it
thing
Korean
that I
enough
don't-
to donate?
the other thing I don't know is because the sides are already shaven, so it's only the top part. So I don't know if that's gonna work.
That
but-
helps someone.
But we'll
Yeah.
definitely look into it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
when we get closer to the goal, then I'll definitely look into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So are you not gonna get it cut anymore? You're just gonna keep going?
What?
until we hit 150?
Yes.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I always just shave the sides.
Okay.
Like I'll keep doing that, but I haven't touched the length for 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. 3 more.
Hold up.
wait.
I believe in the good people.
Yeah.
I mean,
Give us your money.
yeah. Hopefully, it's not that long.
And if it is, we'll be okay with that.
Sure.
But
But I
then-
don't want to let it grow for another 3 years.
No, I was just imagining. I just want to hear him complain 3 years from now. I can't wipe my ass. The hair gets everywhere.
Yeah,
I mean, he
no.
could wipe his ass with his hair.
Yeah.
Then just take a shower.
Oh.
I don't kink shame, but that's
Yeah.
that's something.
I mean, I don't know what he's into. But
Yeah, well, this is the love episode. So,
Mm.
is there any
Oh,
other
biting and scratching?
Oh my god. Does anyone have any other?
I
Like,
don't know. I think it's. How do you follow that? Because
I mean, I think
I
we
had
can-
one.
I mean, I think we've all been on some dates that didn't work out.
So mine wasn't the case that didn't work out. I sort of ruined a friendship, my own friendship with a guy, because
So you went on a date with a guy.
no, I was when I just moved to Korea, and within the first couple of weeks, I joined the language connection to make friends, etc., etc.
language exchange.
Hello, talk
yeah.
in person.
Oh wait, no, we did.
And this was also where I met the girl who I went on a date with a couple of times without professing my love. But at the beginning, I didn't know she had just broken up with her, ex-boyfriend. To be fair, they had dated for like a month, and then she was like, "Nah, no." But that guy was the guy who introduced me to the language connection. So it was kind of awkward where he messaged me one day, "Hey, what you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm with this really cool girl. She's really nice, I'm maybe I'll see what's up." And he was like, "Oh yeah, who is she, And I sent her the name, and then he was typing, and then just stopped. And I was like, "Uh-oh, this is something." And then
He realized.
and then he said, "Oh, send a picture. I want to see the group." And I was kind of just like, "Oh, okay, that's it. Let's all take a selfie." So we took the selfie, and he was just like, "That's my ex."
Oh,
And then his
no.
cacao picture went from face to no face. And for people who
So-
don't know, that means I got blocked.
Yeah, insta block.
And I just
Or-
never saw him again.
Or do you
Oh,
know
jeez.
when Korean people are going through something, they always delete their cacao profile.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's no. So I just either he deleted it or he blocked me, but I just never saw him again until like a couple of months later. And at that stage, I was dating my wife. Name drop.
Bleep there?
Name drop. Bleep. So by then he was kind of over it, but it was really awkward at the beginning where I was just like, "Oh yeah, you should totally meet this chick. She's so fun." And she dumped him like.
Yeah, you should ever meet her. She's really fun. You would love her.
2 days later, I was just like, "Oh." I mean, 2 days ago, I was just like, "Oh god, that's so awkward."
Dog, you got any crazy stories?
It doesn't have to be Korea related either.
No. There's some like you can't really share here.
That's
Maybe-
fine.
Oh, is that
Maybe on
for
the
the
bonus
Maybe on the
episode.
bonus
bonus
episode.
episodes?
With the soju.
Soju
bottle in
night?
hand.
Oh yeah.
But
I'm
I mean-
ready for those.
There's one night here. Like I went out the day before Valentine's Day, and obviously I met up with some chick somewhere. And then I booked a date for the next day because of Valentine's Day, right? So you have to go out. I had no idea who it was. I had no idea how she looked. We just had a date on time. I had to show up somewhere. Thank God she was somewhat decent.
Your
A
type?
human being.
My type. I don't discriminate, but
Yeah.
a person has to be your type. But I was so stressed the whole time. It's like, who is this person? So I kind of made myself a blind date.
Yeah.
which was fun.
This was not in Korea?
No, this was in Korea.
Yeah.
Back when I was a student.
Gotcha. Yeah, because in Korea, something I kind of talk about, like sogeting
Yeah, so
is really popular.
I
I
like
guess
the way
I
you
create-
said that. So gating.
So-gating.
It sounds like something.
Wait, what
Italian.
is
Sogeting.
that? What is
So
Sogeting.
getting.
It's like blind dating.
Okay.
Usually, like you either do it, you can like do it through your university. Like my university has like blind
Sogeting
date
program.
clubs.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Like a club?
it's like you sign up and you just put your name in and stuff, and they like match you with someone. They send you off.
Brian,
Like,
you should
it's-
enroll.
Yeah, you should, yeah. You want to come join my university?
I'm maybe a little bit too old.
Yeah, maybe a little too old. Even I'm too old. Like I'm pretty sure it's for like freshmen. Like it's very much
Makes
like a-
sense. It's a nice way to
kinda
make
makes
friends.
sense.
Yeah,
Nice
it's a good way to make
you know.
friends and stuff like that. And they have like groups and stuff that'll like go out drinking together. And I think the purpose of it is to try to like meet people. But they frame it as like, oh, you can just come and make friends,
Mhm.
which is pretty. I mean, like even like Tinder
Which
in
is
Korea.
the purpose of Tinder in
Yeah, I
Korea?
was
Yeah.
gonna say Tinder in
And
Korea is
the
all about
other-
make your
other-
friend.
Other app, what's it called?
Bumble.
Meef.
Meef.
Meef. I've heard interesting things about Meef.
Yeah, I've also said
I've
interesting things
yeah
about
from
Meef.
my friends in some group chats that I'm in. Meef is just a bunch of strange. I feel like every dating app is just a bunch of strange,
strange
men.
men.
men, I guess.
I mean, from my experience, Meef is crazy in that sense, in that it's like Hello Talk in that it's a worldwide app. There's not like Tinder and Bumble and stuff. You have like a location based thing, right? Whereas Meef and like Hello Talk, they are just worldwide, so you can just message anyone. But Meef apparently is like a little bit more like dating focused. But you'll just get like when I used to be on it like a long time ago, and I would just get messages from people in like South America, like from Brazil, and they'd be like, "Hey, what's up?" And I'm like, "Why do I want to? I don't want to talk to you." Like,
Not
there's
because
just no
they're
reason.
Brazilian,
Like,
but
not because
just
they're
because
yeah,
they're
it's
not
because
based in
like
Korea.
one, if I want to hang out with somebody, I'm gonna do. How am I gonna hang out with you? And two, if it's a language learning app, I'm at nowhere in my profile did I ever specify that I wanted to learn
Portuguese.
Portuguese.
I like that pause. I was like, say it. Say Spanish. Say Spanish.
Brazilian.
Say Brazilian or Mexican or something.
I forgot what language they speak in Brazil. But yeah, that's the point. Like at least Hello Talk, like it filters it by like the language you're trying to learn. Whereas Meef is just like it just shows you everybody. You just choose the country of the person you want to talk to. And it's like, okay, well I get that like they're probably trying to learn English or they want to meet someone in America, but like mine's not set to that, but I still get messages from them. And so that's the point where I think it got kind of weird, especially for like Asian women with people from other countries, like just specifically trying
yeah.
to like
I
message
do have
them and be
heard.
like,
What about
I
hey.
have
the
heard
yellow
that they
fever?
get spammed a lot by.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very spammy app, even for guys too. Like even for me,
Oh, yeah.
I got a ton of spam, mostly from people like in other countries that were not Korea or America. Just a bunch of spam messages, and so I got off that app
Did
real
you
quick.
get any dick pics?
No,
Unlucky.
it is gender based, so you still do get your gender filters, but there's no country filters for receiving messages.
So
at
did
least.
you get the DM me on Instagram and video call me one?
Oh, always. You get all this. You get all sorts of spam stuff. Always, all the time.
Yeah, but did you
No, never clicked it. I value my privacy information, so I don't want to get it.
Ah, yes,
my
the
stuff
American
hacked.
in you, huh?
Yeah. So I don't know. It's not a great app. I say stick to Tinder and Bumble if you come to
And Hello
Korea.
Talk.
And Hello Talk, yeah. Yeah, definitely for sure.
And also, again, Grinder for the
Or grind. Well,
the,
okay. Obviously, I can't speak to this, but we all have a mutual friend that has told me about Grinder, and from what I've heard, it's also not very good.
Yeah, but I mean, Tinder is not good. Bumble's not good. No dating app. I don't believe.
As you can see, I'm very quiet here.
I don't believe any dating app should be like your main.
Oh, of course
Focus.
not. Of course not.
Your main focus should be Dokevi in Hong
Yeah,
Kong.
don't
Hey!
Hongdae,
Where you
hang
can
out
meet
with Bryant.
Bryant.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Every
exactly.
Friday, Saturday, and sometimes Sunday.
No,
I
I
would
told
say-
you not anymore.
Yeah, not
I
anymore.
wasn't there.
We'll see how long it lasts.
1 week, Rick.
It is cool to go, like, especially in Korea, like, even if you are wanting to meet people and you don't have a lot of friends, there are very easy ways to meet people in Korea.
Yeah.
Like, there's a ton of language exchange stuff, which, again, language exchange.
So-
But,
It is language exchange in Korea is just a dating.
yeah,
I
it's just
mean,
another
I-
word for dating.
I went to a language connection for a long time, and I'm still very good with those. Why can't I English suddenly? I'm still very good.
It's our language.
Friends?
I'm still very good with those friends. And last week, some of my friends who I'd met at the language exchange came up, and we just had a ball. So
Yeah.
there's a good use.
Okay,
But
so
at the same
maybe-
time, don't be naive, because there were people at the language connection. It was very obvious what they were there for.
Yeah.
Hey, do you speak Korean? Can I teach you? Do you live alone?
Do you like
do you,
ramen?
do you like ramen? Do you have a TV? Do you have
Yeah.
a cat? Can I
Yeah.
watch your TV?
Yeah.
Oh,
It
and
is-
did you hear the one? Oh,
What's
do
the
you
new
do you
one?
have a toilet?
What?
Some people.
That's the new one?
It's a weird one
Hey,
that keeps coming back.
Hey, if you eat those Hongdae kebabs, you're gonna need a toilet.
But it's a new one that keeps coming back. But essentially, what they do is they'd walk you home or walk you halfway home, under the premise of just being friendly. You know, oh, it's dangerous at night. Don't go alone. Take
Yeah.
me. And halfway through, they just start making comments of, "I need the toilet. I need the toilet." When they get to your
Ah.
place, it's a case of, "Well, do you have a toilet?"
Yeah.
Sort of a thing. And yeah,
I just need to take a massive shit.
My one
What a way to
situation.
turn someone on.
Yeah, my one situation with that was actually I was with our producer James, and me and him were outside of a bar one night in Conde, and he got so mad because he was like, I can't believe this worked. Is that we were sitting? I had met this girl. We were sitting on a bench or whatever, and we were just sitting there, and she like started talking to me, blah 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 blah, and she's like, so like, where do you live? And I'm like, oh, I live over in this area, and she's like, oh, it's cool. You have a nice apartment? And I'm like, it's fine. It's just like a little one room. And she's like, oh, that's cool. She's like, I've never been in a one room before. And I was like, oh, cool. She's like, do you have a picture of it? I'm really curious. And I was like, no, I don't have a picture of it. Why do I have a picture? She goes, oh, maybe you could show me sometime. Can I have your number? And I was like, oh.
I love how
That
you
was
did
a-
it.
that
You
was a
did
move.
nothing.
And yeah, I did absolutely nothing. And our producer James is sitting right next to me. He's just like, I can't believe this is working on him right now. Like, this is so obvious what she's talking about. Like, Hunter, just stop, please.
And you're just not realizing.
And I was just like, yeah, sure, you can have my
Oh,
number.
my
Here you go.
Oh my god.
yeah.
So, did you message?
Yeah, later on. We actually ended up dating for a little bit. But
Oh.
yeah. I don't think you guys ever met her. It was before we were all hanging out. But
Did she get to see your apartment?
Oh yeah. she
no,
saw the
never
apartment.
did. Never did.
Oh, did you see
we
hers?
just had a few dinners. No, never saw
But
hers
you
either.
should have taken a picture for her then.
For the next time, just next time I come, like, oh, so you're really curious. Here's a picture.
Yeah, exactly.
She would have been like,
But
what?
like you said, she wanted to see our apartment, but it's very common in Korea for people, like especially young Korean people, that don't have apartments. They
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
have one rooms.
Yeah.
They,
That's why I was
they
like-
live with parents. So usually Korean people go to motels. This is a very common thing.
Not just motels.
Love
DVD
Motel.
banks.
DVD rooms.
Oh, I've never been to one of those.
Lucky
They
you.
literally just have a bed. It's not a
Yeah.
couch.
And
It's
a
just bed.
smell. It has a smell.
Yeah, I've heard.
Oh, yeah?
I've
A
heard nasty
very
things.
distinct, nasty smell.
I've heard it's nasty.
It's nasty.
Yeah.
I did stay with Ricky in one night.
Clip that. Just,
No,
just
we went for a trip to Busan. We were very poor, very poor. We had no money. We didn't want to splurge for a hotel room, so we just went to a DVD room and rented 2 movies. Slept the whole time.
Are you sure?
I mean, I tried to get frisky, but, but it was nice. I had a good sleep. We watched Click.
Oh,
Great
that's
movie.
a good movie.
Great movie.
I think then we watched Shrek.
Even better
Great
movie.
movie, yeah. And you got none?
Should have gone for the
Shrek is love.
Yeah.
Lord of
Shrek
the
is
Rings
like-
extended edition.
Oh,
a nice
true.
long.
Oh, that's
A
you
nice
can get
one.
I
a
used to
nice one.
imagine Brian to go to a girl and be like, hey, you want to come back to my place and watch a movie? She's like, yeah, sure. And he gets home and she's like, we're going to watch all 3 parts of the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Extended edition.
Extended edition.
Do you know he broke his toe?
Oh, yeah, true.
What?
No, it's a meme. It's a
Oh,
Lord of the
okay.
Rings
Yeah.
meme.
I did not get that. All right. Any other tips you guys have for people who might come to Korea and want to date?
You want a date? Just.
Yeah.
Just
Oh.
don't try too hard.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say like
Oh yeah, that's a good.
So
one.
there are a lot of guys who come here and they're trying to like very hard to.
not just guys. Don't.
Oh, yeah,
be
not just
picky.
guys.
sorry,
at
sorry,
all.
Yeah,
sorry.
no,
I
the-
won't.
The amount of women who I've had, just like sort of come and tell me, "Oh, you're not my type." Like foreign women, I'm just like, I was never even interested. I was like, I'm trying to help you learn this thing in Korean, and
Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
trying to
you-
get their little oppa.
yeah, and I'm so confused. Like,
Yeah.
where did it come up to that I'm interested? What do you mean I'm not your type? You're not my type for starters.
Yeah.
but like, it's just
Yeah,
what?
just don't try too hard. Just
Be
don't,
yourself.
Don't sounds very cliche, but don't change your personality into some person that is doing something here. Just be yourself. And
Yep.
Also,
And also, when you start dating, make sure you get couple rings.
Jesus
Please,
Christ.
please.
Anyone else have a couple ring?
I have one, but I forgot.
He has an actual one.
I got an actual ring, but I forgot it at work.
Oh.
I always
Oh.
take it off at work.
Couple rings are. We can talk about that. We can talk about that in the next couples episode, in the next dating
I always
episode.
take mine
also
off at
if
work.
if any ladies actually do want to watch the Lord of the Rings,
I called. I saw him. He tried to say it, and he was like, "Wait."
He
Well,
does have all 3 on Blu-ray extended edition.
Yeah.
So
I do.
All right.
here's the books if you want to read.
Wait, you have the books?
Yeah. Oh well, not here at home in Ecuador.
So you could take you on a trip to Ecuador.
Oh, well, take me on a trip to Ecuador.
Oh,
Yeah, take us on a trip.
I
to
saw you
Ecuador.
sharing pictures recently, and I was like, "Oh shit, Ecuador! Maybe that's a vibe with the
It's-
alpacas, llamas. What are they?
The picture I sent were llamas,
I love
But-
llamas.
but there's also alpacas
I love alpacas too.
and
So-
vicuñas
That
Anyone
one.
who wants to see an alpaca and llamas, hit him up.
Yeah, and Lord of the
Sure.
Rings.
and Lord of the Rings.
Well, until the next time, guys, you can catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube for our video podcast. You can subscribe to us on Patreon if you want to help support the show. Everything that we get from Patreon goes back into trying to make the show even better for you guys. When it comes
We
to
didn't do the
videos.
YouTube. Like, Fuck. I
Like,
Like,
comment,
subscribe, and click
subscribe
that
on
bell.
YouTube. Click the bell.
Hit the bell.
Next week, Dagur will unfortunately not be with us. He's going to be taking a trip to Iceland, but we'll hear all about it when he gets
I'll
back.
post some pictures.
Yeah,
Hey, sub for the Patreons.
for the Patreon.
So
yeah.
please do
Yeah.
give us your cash.
But we'll hear all about that when he gets back. And so next week it'll just be the three of us, and then maybe a guest for the next one after that. But until the next time, guys, thank you again for listening to our podcast. We appreciate everybody, and we'll see you next time.
Remember? 1, 2, 3.
Hey, we did it!
We got it right this time.